So let's look at how we can use Zoom to screencast. And I'm going to show you how you can use Flipgrid with nonverbal students. Here I'm going to respond to the question, which is, what are your plans for the weekend? So I want to add a response. So to add a verbal response or just a basic response, you just have to click on this button right here. Wait for it to cue you. And then my plans for the weekend are to enjoy the weather or whatever. Notice I have provided 5 minutes to do this activity, but you can customize this as you want. So you can customize it for 2 minutes, 1 minute, 3, whatever. You can customize it as you want. If the student needs to pause, they can pause, collect their thoughts, and then they can continue recording. If they're not happy, they can just retake it and they can delete the clip and start all over. But this is a student that is verbal and can just give a basic response, or can pantomime the response if it's a nonverbal student as well. Okay, but let's say we want to give more creativity to the student, more ways that they can express themselves. We have these features that we can play with. So before we begin recording, we're going to customize the board so that they can capture the message that they want to convey. So let's start with the backdrop. So I want to add a backdrop. Okay, so I have all of these backdrops. I can blur it out. That's the first thing I can do if I want to use the backdrop to record my response. Basically, you can prepare it even if you're going to give an audio response. You can prepare your screen beforehand. So let's use the bubbles. And see how I'm in the middle of the screen? It can be full screen, or you can position the image on the bottom left or the bottom right. Okay, I'm going to leave it at the bottom right. I feel like I like it better there. So that's the backdrop. Then we have different effects here. The first one is a filter, which you may or may not want to use. Just plays with, like, we know about Instagram and TikTok filters. That's essentially what it is. So that's this feature. I don't want it. So every time I don't want something, it's just like the crossed out O. Let's play with some effects. So we can add some text. So I like this one. Once I'm satisfied with my text, I can click on it. And if students are familiar with playing around with elements, whether it's text or images, this will look familiar to them. When you have these boxes, that means that they can play with them, right? They can drag them, they can rotate them. So this is something that might be familiar to them if they've already used software that allows them to write text and manipulate it. Maybe they use a Google Slide, another type of software that they would have manipulated text and images. They would have recognized that they can play with these elements. The other feature that I want to show you is there's this pen feature. Okay, so if the students are using an iPad, I'm just using a computer right now, but if they're using an iPad, they can do this with a stylus. I'm going to customize the font. Okay, I'm going to put this font right here, this color, sorry, and you can play with the thickness. It's probably not the best location. This one doesn't have the option to move it, so where I have it, that's where it's going to stay. However, if they have, if they're using an iPad and they have maybe some fine motor challenges, they can write just with their fingers or an eraser, whatever makes it easier for the student. I just want to see if I can grab it. Oh, I can grab it. So same thing. I was able to grab it and I can play with it as well. So same thing. Every time you have an element, you can just click on it, and then you have, you can bring it up, play with it. You can mirror it. I think this is to copy paste it. We can add a board. So let's say I wanted to have half my board populated with images or GIFs or some other responses, and another half I can use it for writing, for like two thoughts, like in the day I do this, at night I do that, in the winter I do this, in the spring or whatever, in the summer, winter and summer. So I can split my boards. The other feature is I can add a sticker. So I really like the sunglasses, so I'm going to add the sunglasses. What's really neat, I'm going to put the sunglasses over my face. What's really neat is when we add the stickers, if students know American Sign Language, they can actually convey their message this way. So they can add the symbols So they have the American Sign Language. Of course, they have like some reactions as well, musical notes, if they're familiar with that as well. The variety of stuff, accessories, people, etc. You can also add gifts. I'm going to add a crown. And like I said, the elements, we can play around with them, right? Here we have things that are already prescribed, but the students can also take pictures of themselves doing things, take a variety of pictures on their iPad, and then import the pictures directly into their Flipgrid before they respond. Okay, so these were already in Flipgrid, but they can add their own. So they can take their images and add their own. Maybe you want to take pictures of a process, a sketch that they've done, whatever. They can take their own pictures and they can frame it. So here I have a background, but if they had, let's say, one picture that they wanted to import and they want to frame it, they can do that as well. Or if they want to frame whatever, it's a matter of their creativity. So they can also frame the work that they've done. So once we're satisfied, the background is ready. Now we can begin recording, because we're not going to be able to get a response if we don't actually record a response, right? Students have the option of speaking, so they can prepare their board this way and enter their response verbally. For this demo, I won't enter the response verbally. The important thing is just that it's recorded. So this has to be recorded, okay? So I'm going to record it. I'm going to add music, and then I'm going to post it. The student has a chance to look at it. They can go back and edit it. And now we want to add some music. I want to add music, which is right here. I've already decided to put some bounce music, but you can play around with the genres. If you just click on it, it's gonna give you a preview of the music. For this demo, I'm gonna choose this music right here. And I'm going to put the plus. If I had spoken, like if somebody speaks, it doesn't matter. The audio and the voice and the music, it doesn't overpower. So you're able to hear the voice and the music. It sounds like a professional video. And then once I'm satisfied, I click next to post it. I'm just going to take a little pause because I want to prepare my next screen. So I'm going to show you as the teacher, when you go to prepare your Flipgrid, how to prepare your Flipgrid, okay? So when you're going to go to flipgrid.com and you're going to, you sign up, but in my case, like I'm logging in with, when you sign up, you can go in with your Microsoft or your Google account. I already have a bunch of Flipgrids, but I want to create a new topic. So let me show you how that's done. I'm going to do it in this page. I have some other Flipgrids that I share with other people. So I'm going to go into Joanne's page and I'm going to create a new topic. Every Flipgrid is a topic. So every question that you would want them to respond to, it's going to be a new topic. So I'm just going to create my topic. All right, so I gave it a title, I gave it a description, tell me how much you love Flipgrid. Here I could customize it like I would with any other customizing tool. I can add a link if there's an external link that I want them to look at before they respond. And I want to customize the time, okay? The default is 1 minute 30 seconds. I can put less if I want to, but the idea is to give students time to reflect. It's not like a final countdown. So I like to increase it. So I did it for 5 minutes. You can customize it however you like. I could have also added media topics. Okay, so I can bring in pictures. I can record a video if I want to give them instructions on how to do this. I can put emojis and GIFs. I can import things. So I can import like a video from somewhere else. I can add a YouTube video. And of course, that's the link, okay? Or I can also add an attachment. One more thing, you can customize these settings, okay? So you can have it set for your start date and you can have it like a deadline for when students can use it. In this case, I'm gonna give it a deadline of May 31st. The recording time is done. You can moderate the videos and comments so you can see what students are posting. I imagine you're going to do this with them, so it's not necessary, but you can do that as well. You can add video comments only or video and comments for each other. You can add, well, there is the closed captions. and the record time we have. You have other customizing possibilities. Everything is permitted here because I want you to be able to access all of the features, but you can restrict features if you want to limit the choices. And then you just post the topic. Once that's done, you share the Flipgrid by copying the link, or you can share it to your LMS. So you copy the link and you put it somewhere for your students to use it. You can also create a QR code for your students to use. I'm going to show you one more thing. So go to goqr.me. So you can take the link, you can post it, and there's a QR code that is generated. And then you can download the link and print it somewhere. So your students can just hover over the iPad and they can go directly to the Flipgrid and they can respond for verbal and nonverbal students. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out at gsalvaggio@emsb.qc.ca.